In this set of video notes, we're going to look at multiplying polynomials using our exponent rules from previous times. So to multiply a polynomial by a monomial, use the distributive property and the properties of exponents. So in number 1, we're going to distribute 4y squared to y squared and 4y squared to 3. So 4y squared times y squared is y to the 4th, plus 4 times 3 is 12y squared. For the next one, we have fg times f to the 4th, so f times f to the 4th is f to the 5th, g, plus we have 2, f times f cubed is f to the 4th, and then g times g is g squared, and then minus 3, f times f squared is f cubed, and g times g squared is g cubed. So that's our next one. And then our last one, we have plus f times f is f squared, and g times g cubed is g to the 4th. In our next problem, we have 3cd squared times 4c squared d, so 3 times 4 is 12. C times c squared is c cubed. D squared times d is d cubed. And then we have 3 times negative 6 is negative 18. C times c is c squared. D squared times d is d cubed. And then we have 3 times 14 is a positive 42. C times c is c squared. D squared times d squared is d to the 4th. And in our last example, we have x squared y times 6y cubed. So that would be 6x squared y times y cubed is y to the 4th. Plus, we have x squared y times y squared is y cubed, minus 28 x squared y times y is y squared, and then times 30 gives us x squared y. Let's look at multiplying two polynomials using the distributive property. In order to multiply a binomial times a trinomial, we're going to take each term and multiply by each term in the other. So if I have a, I'm going to multiply a times 2, a times negative 5a, and a times a squared. So a times 2 is 2a times negative 5 is negative 5a squared, and a times a squared is a cubed. Then I'm going to multiply the negative 3, and notice it is a negative 3. So negative 3 times 2 is plus a negative 6. I'm just going to write minus 6. Negative times a negative is a positive. 3 times 5 is 15a. And then negative times a positive is a negative. 3 times a squared is 3a squared. Then we're going to add like terms and write it in standard form. So my highest exponent is a cubed, so I'm going to write a cubed. And then I have a squared, so negative 5a squared minus 3a squared is negative 8a squared. And then I have plus 15a plus 2a is plus 17a, and then I have my minus 6. In the next example, we are going to multiply each term, and we have 1, 2, 3 in the first and 1, 2, 3 in the second. So y squared times y squared is y to the 4th. Y squared times negative y is a negative y cubed. Y squared times negative 3 is negative 3y squared. And then I have my negative 7. Negative 7y times y squared is negative 7y cubed. Negative 7 times negative y, so we have negative times negative is a positive. 7y times y is y squared. And then negative 7y times negative 3, negative times negative is a positive. 7 times 3 is 21y. And then I have a third term, so 5 times y squared is plus 5y squared. 5 times negative 5 is negative 5y. And 5 times negative 3 is minus 15. Then I'm going to combine like terms and get my standard form. So if I look at what I've got, y to the 4th is my largest exponent. And then I have negative y cubed minus 7y cubed is negative 8y y cubed. And then I have negative 3y squared plus 7, so that's 4y squared plus 5, and that's 9y squared. And then I have 21y minus 5y is 16y, and then minus 15. So there it is in standard form. In this example, we are going to try the vertical method. So we are going to stack, just like we would regular multiplication. We have 3b squared minus bc minus 2c squared times 3b minus 2c. So first thing we're going to do, negative 2c times negative 2c is a positive 4c cubed, that's c times c squared. And then negative 2c times negative bc, negative times a negative is a positive 2bc squared. And then negative 2c times 3b squared, so negative times a positive is a negative 6b squared c. And then we're going to go with the second, so we have 3b. 3b times negative 2c squared is negative 6 negative 6bc squared, and then 3 times negative bc is a negative 3b squared c, and then 3 times 3 is positive 9b cubed, and then we're going to add them all together. So we have 9b cubed, negative 3 and negative 6 make negative 9b squared c, and then negative 6 and 4 is a negative, or negative 6 and 2 is a negative 4bc squared, and then we have our plus 4c cubed. In the next example, we are going to multiply using our box method. So we have x squared, negative 4x, and a positive 1 on the top. And then we have x squared, 5x, and negative 2. So in each box we're going to multiply. So x squared times x squared is x to the 4th. Negative 4x times x squared is negative 4x cubed. 1 times x squared is positive x squared. 5x times x squared is 5x cubed. 5x times negative 4 is negative 20x squared. 5x times 1 is 5x. Negative 2 is negative 2x squared. Negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8x. And negative 2 times 1 is a negative 2. And then we're going to add things together. So here we have a negative 2, and then 5 and 8 make 13x. And then x squared minus 20x squared is negative 19x squared. Minus 2 is negative 21x squared. And then negative 4x squared, or x cubed, and 5x cubed is a positive 1x cubed. And then we just have x to the 4th. So this would be our answer. In example 3, we start off with a box that is p feet by 3p by 4p. And what we want to make is a box that we have added 1.5 to each side. So that becomes p plus 1.5 and 3p plus 1.5 and then 4p plus 1.5. And then to get volume, we have to multiply them all together. So the volume would be p plus 1.5 times 3p plus 1.5 times 4p plus 1.5. And then if we multiply that out, we get 3p squared plus 1.5p plus 4.5p plus 2.25 and our first. So if we were to multiply these together, and then we still have 4p plus 1.5. And then to simplify that, we rewrite it over here. So we have 3p squared plus 6p plus 2.25 times our 4p plus 1.5. And then we distribute like we did previously, so 3p squared times 4p and 1.5. So we'd end up with 12p cubed plus 4.5p squared. And then we multiply the next two, which would be 24p squared plus 9p. And then we multiply the next two, and we'd have plus 9p plus 3.375. And then if we combine all the like terms, our v of p would be 12p cubed plus 28.5p plus 18p plus 3.375. And our next expansions, we have cubed. So we actually have a plus 2b 3 times. A plus 2b times a plus 2b. In order to do that, we need to FOIL the first. So we have a times a times 2b. And so we get a squared plus 2ab. And then we have 2ab plus 2b times 2b is 4b squared. All of that times a plus 2b. And then we combine like terms, so we get a squared plus 2ab plus 2ab is 4ab plus 4b squared times a plus 2b. And then we distribute again. So we have a squared times a is a cubed, a squared times 2b is 2a squared b, 4ab times a is 4a squared b, 4ab times b is 8ab squared, and then we have And then we have 4b squared a, so we have 4ab squared, and then 4b squared times 2 is plus 8b cubed. And then we're going to combine like terms. So we're going in descending powers of a, so we have a cubed, a squared b plus a squared b, so we have 6a squared b, and then we have ab squared and ab squared, plus 12ab squared, and then plus 8b cubed. In our next example, we have x plus 4 times x plus 4 times x plus 4. So let's distribute the first two. So we have x times x is x squared, x times 4 is 4x, and then we have 4 times x is 4x, and 4 times 4 is 16. All of that times x plus 4. And then we're going to combine like terms, so x squared plus 8x plus 16 times x plus 4. And then we're going to distribute again. So we have x squared times x is x cubed, x squared times 4 is 4x squared, and 8x times x is 8x squared, and 8x times 4 is 32x. And then we have 16 times x, and 16 times 4, and then we combine like terms. And we get x cubed, 4x squared, and 8x squared is 12x squared, 32 and 16 is 48x, and then we have plus 64. For the last last example, we are going to multiply 2x minus 1 3 times together. So let's do this. Let's move this up a little bit. We're right at the bottom. So we have 2x minus 1 times 2x minus 1 times 2x minus 1. And we're going to FOIL the first 2. So 2 times 2 is 4x squared. 2x times 1 is negative 2x. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2x. And negative 1 times 1 is positive 1 times 2x minus 1. And then we're going to combine like terms, so we have 4x squared minus 4x plus 1 times 2x minus 1. And then we're going to multiply, so 4x squared times 2x is 8x cubed. 4x squared times negative 1 is negative 4x squared. And then we have negative 4x times 2 is negative 8x squared. And negative 4x times negative 1 is a positive 4x. And then we have 1 times 2x is 2x, and 1 times negative 1 is minus 1. And then we combine like terms. So 8x cubed, negative 4x squared, and 8x squared is negative 12x squared. 4x plus 2x is 6x, and then we have minus 1. And this is the end of the first half of multiplying polynomials. The next video note will contain how to use Pascal's triangle and the binomial expansion.